Hello everyone, it is Melissa and I am back. Today I am going to be documenting St. Patrick's Day from this year. And I have 3 photos all printed at a 3x4 size. And I also pulled a piece of watercolor paper that I trimmed down to 8.5 by 11. I'm starting off by pulling from my product jar. You can see there I have labels, 6x6 pads, doilies, eyelets, thickers, ribbon, and in fact the last one is thicker, oh not thickers, flare I guess, sorry. And I in fact get all of those used except for the ribbon, but I do get twine used, so it kind of works out. Excuse me. So you can see there I'm starting off, I have my watercolors pulled and I have saturated the top half of my page, and I'm using an acrylic block, and I'm just going to smush the ink down. Now my objective here was to make a rainbow. In fact, you go through what everybody goes through when you first start playing with red, though, and your mind goes right to blood. And so I try to keep that in mind whenever I'm playing with red inks and watercolors and whatnot. So yeah, for right now, this is looking a little bit like a crime scene. Excuse me, but it will start to grow into the rainbow thing. So in between each application, I'm using my heat tool and then just re-wetting the leftover ink that's still sitting on the acrylic block with some water and bringing it back down to my paper, just adding some fun texture. And I will in fact clean up after every color and dry between applications. So yeah, this is in fact a fun but messy process. And I don't do watercolor nowhere near enough, but when I do, I'm all in. So this was how I was going to spend my crafty afternoon. I wasn't feeling overly motivated with my mojo, so I decided, you know what? I know for sure that I'm making a St. Patty's Day layout next, and I'm all about the rainbows when it comes especially to that day. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to spend my afternoon working on this page. Now, in fact, you see there, this is a really super messy process. So yeah, but sorry about my dog barking, but so in essence, I am just dabbing up the ink that drops down and, not really caring too much, excuse me, about, how it's looking at this point. I have several other colors to add. So right now I'm just wanting to, try to keep it in the general area. So I've dried between my layers, adding another application after I've, used some water to re-wet the ink that is, or the watercolor that's left on that paper or on that block, and bringing it down just for another layer of texture. So, excuse me, I didn't make you watch that whole process, but here's in fact what it looks like finished. I'm really pleased with it. And the next thing I'm going to do is add some of my Tim Holtz gold ink, and I'm just going to splatter it down all over the page. Yeah, rainbows and gold. It's all about all the leprechauns. And so I'm going to let that dry completely and come back to it. This was basically all I had the energy for this day. And, like I mentioned, my mojo wasn't really, I wasn't really feeling it. So I'm back the next day. That's all completely dried. And I have my photos. I've also pulled from American Crafts the lucky ones, and they are gold glitter foam thickers. And also my Echo Park Lucky Charm collection that I'm working my way through, a gold doily. I bought that collection several years ago now from the expo I went to. And so I'm just trying to make my way through it. So you see here, I'm trimming down these photos because I'm going to mount them together. If you guys have watched me for any length of time, you know that I like making collages, and my own, most importantly. And so I'm going to do that here. And I'm going to collage these 2 photos together on one piece to make it a bigger element on the page. So yeah, I'll actually mount these two together and then the other one of the two bears separately. And it's just white cardstock for my stash. All right, so here I'm just, sorry I have to keep stopping the video. I have a frog in my throat, I guess. It's first thing in the morning. So yeah, here I'm just mounting this other photo on white. And yeah, then I'm going to just, first of all, you guys, this layout came together super quick because I didn't want to cover hardly any of my background because I put a lot of time and hard work into that, and I wanted it to, excuse me, really have a presence on the page as well as my photos. So the little bits that I do add are all scraps. I'm just using some cornstarch and a brush that I keep for the cornstarch and just taking the sticky off some of these stickers. That's a label sticker. I in fact pulled labels from my product jar. I have a stamp on the top there. You can see it's from Kelly Perky and it's called We Are Blessed. And I'm going to stamp and cut out the word cheers with a navy ink. And I decided to bring in navy. See, I'm auditioning stickers there. I decided to bring in navy because I found a label in my stash that is so super old. I don't even know where it's from. But it had a navy border on it. And I originally was going to cut the border off, but I decided to keep it and thought, you know what? Navy will be the other color I pull into this page. Now, as you'll notice here, the pieces of paper that I use, they're from a 6x6 pad and super small little bits of scraps. Like I mentioned, I didn't want hardly anything to cover up parts of this background page, so I keep it very minimal. Right here you see I have stamped on that label Happy St. Patty's, or Happy St. Pat's Day maybe. I can't read it from here. And I'm going to add an eyelet, a silver eyelet from my stash. And then I'm eventually going to string through there some gold crochet twine. From my word stickers, these gold ones, they're from American Crafts. I want to say they're crepe paper, but I could be wrong. It has the word smile. And I'm going to trim that down just a little bit and add that to the top of one of my photos. I have the word or the letters ME there, and those are actually acrylic words from LE Studio. I don't know what collection, but I've had them for a bit, so I don't know if they're still available, but yeah, that was on the LE Studio website. So you see there I have that piece of ephemera. It's actually a journaling spot. It says a perfect day. And I end up using some of a white doily, some navy scraps of 6x6 pattern paper. I have a sticker there from the Echo Park Lucky Charm sticker sheet, and it's just a leprechaun, a green hat, and I decided to use that because I didn't want to keep the bird that is hanging out on top of the word perfect there. I wanted to cover it up. And so I thought the hat was a cute touch. And I wasn't sure when I was ever going to get a chance to possibly use that hat again. So I don't know about you guys, but quite frankly, a lot of times, you know, I just use things because it kind of works out, you know. And I feel like sometimes you just got to get it out of your stash and on a page. And if it kind of works out and you kind of like it, then just go with it. If you're too critical on your work and critique everything too much, you would never finish a layout, for one. And second, I mean, half the enjoyment is just using my product for me and getting it on a page and making it look fun. You know, starting off with a rainbow background, for starters, I already knew going in this layout was going to be whimsical and playful. And yeah, so the leprechaun hat fits the bill to a T. And yeah, got it used up. So you can see there I've already put the gold crochet twine through that label, and I'm just starting to adhere things down. You guys, this came together in basically an afternoon. I did the background in one afternoon and the page in another, but like I mentioned, you can see how very little I add to this page. and I'm super happy with it. So you saw in the beginning I pulled Flare from my product jar, and actually I have there a shamrock. It's actually a button, you know, like a pin that you would wear in your shirt. And I removed the pin, safety pin part in the back, and I am just going to use a pop dot to add that as my piece of Flare. And I want to say I got those years and years ago from the Target dollar spot. And so I do that quite a bit, especially for ones that are smaller like that. Yeah, see I ripped my paper there, but who cares? No one's going to know. So yeah, I'm just adding my little bits here, and yeah, just this was a fun day with friends. I don't document St. Pat's Day every year, but quite a bit, because we're usually doing something fun with friends, or I'm doing something with girlfriends. And so we went out with friends. We went and saw a local band, and we went to this restaurant. It was called The Commons, and it was like a 70s theme restaurant, and it's like walking into Three's Company. So it was super fun. It was just a fun night. And I got to use the acrylic pieces on there. I wasn't sure when I was going to get to use those. And I just love it. I think it looks great. And so, yeah, that's about it. That's going to wrap it up. I'm just going to glue these on and add my journaling, and that's going to about do it. So before I go, if you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comment section below. I would hope you love this layout, and I will leave my links to my Instagram and Facebook page. I would love for you to come over there, follow me, subscribe to my channel. That would really mean a lot. And I usually post a video once a week, so I will be back with more. So subscribe, and excuse me. And yeah. So right here, the last thing I'm going to do is add some brads for my stash. Just poke in some holes. They're actually, one is a green gem brad and the other one is just a green brad. And that's it. I'm going to show you some close-ups here. And I will add the journaling on the bottom. But, oh yeah, and I'm going to attach this twine, just make it kind of wonky, messy looking with my tiny attacher. I do have gold staples, which normally I would use, but I thought, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm just gonna fiddle with it, staple it down, and that's it. So thank you so much for watching, taking time out of your day, and I hope you have a great week, and I will be back soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.